Welcome to Accelebration. If it's Friday, 12 noon Pacific, it is Acceleration time. So, hey, thank you for joining us. We've got a fabulous program in store for you. As you know, Acceleration is a live program. And I've got a very special guest. I'm going to introduce her here in just a moment. And we've got a lot of really fabulous ground that we're going to cover. So stay tuned. We're here with you for the next hour. Now, let me shout out to Humanity Stream Plus members, the Humanities.team community, Debra Poneman's Facebook page, Humanities Team's Facebook page, to our people coming in via Zoom, and the Sign Network on these Facebook pages all over the world. So welcome to all of you. Thank you for being here. We get pumped about doing this Acceleration program live every Friday. What a great way to end the week. I hope it feels that way to you too. And of course, Acceleration is about accelerating our conscious journey, all of us, all over the world. And celebration, having fun. Hey, it's Friday afternoon here in the United States. And so what better time to just kind of kick back, grab a glass of water, kombucha or something, and have some fun. Now, please do share your comments, questions, inspirations in the chat window. We've actually got something right here in front of me so we can monitor those. And we'll look at these from time to time, and we'll go ahead and shout out to you, responding to your questions or inspirations or comments. So we welcome your participation. This isn't a lecture at all. This is an acceleration. It's very much of a community event. Okay, now the theme for today's program is a new kind of power and how to access it for the good of ourselves, others, and the world. And I'm going to introduce our special guest now, and then I'm going to welcome our special guest. Debra Poneman is an award-winning success expert, best-selling author, seminar leader, speaker, and media guest. Her clients have included corporate executives, celebrities, and New York Times best-selling authors. In early 1981, that's 40 years ago, right? She founded Yes to Success seminars, dedicated to teaching enlightened, timeless principles of success and prosperity, coupled with new solutions. By 1984, she had reps reaching her ever-growing body of knowledge, or teaching her ever-growing body of knowledge, in over a dozen major U.S. cities and 7 countries on 4 continents. Debra is a member of Jack Canfield's Transformational Leadership Council and the Southern California Association of Transformational Leaders, and she is also a certified meditation teacher through both the Art of Living Foundation and the Transcendental Meditation Organization, and has taught meditation to thousands of individuals and in companies throughout the world. And welcome to the program, Debra. Great to have you with us.
Thank you. I love being with you. I love doing anything with Humanities Team. It's such an outstanding contribution to the planet. I just love what you're up to. Always introducing new things that are really going to bring about the conscious shift of our planet to be the planet that we all know that it could be.
Oh, thank you, Debra. And back at you. You're a pioneer in the industry. Whoa, even Debra doesn't like to share this, but even Deepak Chopra lived in her area back 40 years ago and was in the audience. And I think she had a little bit to do with the leader that he's become. Many other leaders in the industry. She was a pioneer. So, whoa, how cool is that? And Debra, it's always great to be with you.
I was going to say he didn't actually live in my area, but I used to, when I taught my Yes to Success seminars all over the country, I was living in LA. He was actually in the Boston area, but that was one of my cities, one of my 12 cities. And yeah, Deepak actually attended my seminar about 3 or 4 times. So, and it wasn't that he didn't get it the first time, but people tend to like to come back.
Fantastic. Well, great to be with you. Debra, as you know, is one of the hosts of the Global Oneness Summit. In previous years and this year, she's got a masterclass with Humanities Team. We're actually going to talk about her free program and her masterclass. We're going to actually watch videos, segments from both her free program and her masterclass. And she's doing such great work. Let's right up front, Debra, tell people where they can go to see to read all about you and your programs. And I think
Yes
it's
to Success.
Okay.
.com.
Yes to Success.com. Okay. Yes to Success.com. So go check it out. Debra is, again, a real pioneer in the industry doing such great work. And, a lot of times people talk about the vertical, right, which is this whole sort of connection or communion with life, with the divine, but also horizontal, where we're out doing really good works. And hey, Debra is in both. She's got the vertical and the horizontal, and just involved in really cool stuff.
Well, that's interesting that you should say that, because that is the basis to what I teach. It's that the basis to having a successful life and the basis to having a powerful life is inner silence. And if you don't create that inner silence first, it's like trying to build a building without a foundation. It's just going to crumble. And if you want to build a really strong, high, tall building, then the foundation has to be even deeper. The silence has to be even deeper. And that's why I always start off anything that I teach by urging people to, especially at these times that are very chaotic on the surface, to make sure that you have a meditation technique that anchors you to the silent depths of yourself.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that in. And it's so important. And also in Humanities team, of course, we have the inner journey component, which you're sharing, anchors us, and then the outer world or outer work or service component. And of course, this is so true. That inner journey is everything. And Ken Wilber teaches, from his integral practice that today he's got this AQAL, all quadrants, all levels framework. And he says that we have a flatland today. You say, well, what's a flatland? And he says, well, the exterior world, which is the right side of his equation, is getting all the focus. And the left side, which is the interior, is getting very little focus. So this platform or foundation or anchor that Debra's speaking of, that is really the basis for everything, is ignored by so many. And it's the critical thing. I have a lot of fun reading different things, including sacred text. And so 2,000 years ago, when it was said, well, the kingdom of heaven or the kingdom of God is within you, well, guess what? This is exactly what Debra just shared, which is this whole, actually, when you study that, well, what does that quote mean? And then what they say is they compare it to bread, and they say, well, when you put yeast in a bread, the bread takes on new shape and form. It's transformed when yeast is placed in the bread. And likewise, when we go through this inner journey, that there's this alchemical reaction, this transformation. Some people say, well, we're born again. There are different terms to describe it, but we actually come into this whole new place where our little self becomes the big self, or the cell in the world around us, in humanity and in the earth. And we can't any longer ignore the plight of anything around us, because we say, well, that's my true self, including the homeless person and the earth that's crying out for help, etc. So all so true. Yeah, what a great place to begin here, Debra. Thanks for bringing that in.
And I just wanted to add one thing to that. On Global Oneness Day, which is like now Global Oneness Week that you all have.
Yeah.
And it's like my favorite week of the year because you have such amazing guests. Last year, when I was one of the hosts and I interviewed Sri Ravi Shankar, who is the founder of the Art of Living Foundation. And what I love about what you do, and also what he says, is that there isn't just one way. There are so many brilliant, beautiful meditation techniques. And I remember when I was interviewing him and I was trying to tell people, and yes, people should learn meditation through the Art of Living, because I also happen to be an Art of Living teacher. And he says, no, Debra. He says, there are many beautiful techniques. We are a one world family. Anything that divides people, then we don't go towards that. But anything that brings people together, this is what our goal is. And again, that's why I love Humanities Team, because it brings people together.
Yeah, thank you. And boy, Sri Ravi Shankar with his Art of Living Foundation, and as Debra mentioned also in my introduction for her, she's a trained meditation teacher. works closely with Sri Sri. He was part of the Global Oneness Summit last year. We're hoping again this year with Debra's assistance. And he is such a model in today's world for how to really live it. And as she mentions, also such incredible humility, which is part of the divine signature, isn't it? It seems that where you're just streaming, pure divine consciousness and helping people. And then also, and even when you have such an amazing global millions and millions and millions of people organization to say, well, yeah, but there are many other organizations and paths to the mountaintop too. It's wonderful. So he is a beautiful being. The Art of Living Foundation is really just extraordinary, and we're grateful for their many great contributions. Okay, so now we've got a lot of really cool ground to cover. As I mentioned, we've got some video segments. Now, we're going to play a video segment here in just a second. Now, this is from, we create these master classes with collaborative teaching and mentoring and with bonuses and all kinds of really cool stuff. We actually spend 6 months to a year creating these programs. We begin with a free online event. So there's a series that we created first with Debra and Christy Whitman, who is her faculty partner. And the series that they created is called Become the Conscious Creator of Your Own Life, the Hidden Power of Living in Alignment with Universal Laws to Manifest a Life You Love. So, and this is 2 60-minute programs. It's a free series. And we're going to, right on the screen there you go. So if you go to that web address, you can sign up for this free series that Debra Poneman and Christy Whitman teach. It's awesome. It's just absolutely awesome. And if you can't remember this screen web address, you can also just go to humanitiesteam.org, and then at the top left, you'll see it says Masterclasses. In the navigation at the top, you'll see free courses. So just pull down that free courses thing, and you can go right to this Become the Conscious Creator of Your Own Life program and sign up. And then you'll get links to the 2 free programs, one that's 60 minutes with Debra, and then one that's 60 minutes with Christy Whitman. And Christy Whitman, too, is extraordinary. That was Debra's idea to partner with her as her co-faculty. And wow, the two together, talk about a powerhouse. Don't miss it. So let's go right now and take a look at this segment. And then Debra and I are going to come back and talk a little bit about it with you.
So when you think about it, it's not like we're born and the universe says, I think I will randomly make that person's life really difficult, right? I'll just give him so many relationship problems that his heart is feeling lonely for the rest of his life. Or I think I'll give her so many financial challenges that she's constantly in struggle. No, but sometimes it appears that way. Okay. So in the ancient science and mystical philosophy called Kabbalah, it said that we did not appear in this world by chance or through a process of random selection. We actually appeared for a reason. And that reason is what they call a tikkun. Tikkun. The literal translation of tikkun is to correct or repair. So Kabbalah says that we're each born with specific challenges or lessons we need to learn in this lifetime. Something, they say, if you choose to believe this, unfinished from the last time around, and we need to correct or repair it this time. So every time we're faced with a challenge, we're given the chance to see the lesson in it and react differently. And every time we react in the same old way, the lesson is going to return again and again and again, have you noticed, until we get it right. And for some of us, we have lessons in the areas of, like I say, relationships. We keep attracting the same man or woman in a different body over and over. And some people in finances, every time we think we're pulling it together, it falls apart. Some have challenges with letting others take advantage of them, or procrastination, or not listening to our intuition, or needing to be right at all costs, even though it means the slow death of our relationships. We all have different cocoons. And Kabbalah says that going through life being a good person, although it's important, isn't enough, but that the secret to profound personal growth and personal power is to start to observe ourselves and watch our reactions and change our personal patterns. And you asked, how do we know what our cocoons are? How do we know what our lessons are that we came in to learn in this lifetime? I'll tell you what they are. It's whatever is uncomfortable for you. That is your cocoon.
All right, there it is. So become the conscious creator of your own life. And this was one of the short segments out of Debra's 60-minute program. And again, Christy Whitman also has a 60-minute program. If you go and register there at that web address, here it is on the screen. Or if you have trouble writing that down, just go to humanitiesteam.org, masterclass, pull down the free courses, and you'll see Become the Conscious Creator of Your Own Life there, and you can register. Debra, that was... I actually remember, that program well, that free program that we created. And I remember that moment when you were going through this, and wow, your wheels turn on this one, don't they?
It's interesting because we stop that at saying whatever makes us uncomfortable. See, the truth is that if we were born without any, we wouldn't be born if we didn't have any challenges. And we are born to face these challenges throughout our lives and overcome them. Right. And what most people tend to do is when they get faced with the challenge, with the difficult situation, they run away and they say, I can't do it. I can't do it. But I always say to people, and this is actually from Kabbalah too, if I gave you $1 million every time you faced one of your challenges, if I would give you $1 million every time you spoke up for yourself, you spoke your truth in an uncomfortable situation, you told your boss what you really thought, you left that abusive marriage. If I gave you $1 million every time you faced one of your cocoons, would you do it? And the answer is, of course you would. As a matter of fact, you would wake up every morning looking for cocoons to face. You would say, please give me more cocoons to face. So don't say that you can't do it. Because the truth is, and you've heard this before, that every time you face one of your life's challenges, and all of them are different. Mine has always been speaking up for myself. Okay. Yours might be, just compromising yourself in relationships, or always find yourself in financial trouble. We all have different ones. But what I know for an absolute fact is that if you don't face it, if you run away, it will get harder and harder and harder every time. And if you do face it, on the other side is all of the power and all of the grace and all of the love and all of the success and all of the goodness. And the more you face your cocoons, you just have to do it. Though I say it's like when you were a kid and you jumped off the high dive. Remember how you would go to the end and then you couldn't do it. Then you would go to the end and then finally you just jumped and it wasn't that big of a deal. Just look at facing your cocoon like the high dive and just do it. And then you'll find it's not that big of a deal, but it gets easier and easier and easier and easier the more you do it.
Yeah, such great wisdom. And not try and just go around, right? Which is to not face it of, oh, I'm gonna, let me just skirt this one's sticky, this one's muddy, this one's complex. Let me just kind of step around it. And then, as you mentioned, you're just back facing it again and again and again, right?
Yeah, and I'll tell you something else about developing a new kind of power. Okay, and I'm just gonna start with the bottom line. And that is, instead of relying on ourselves, instead of trying to wield power and control and manipulate to get the results we want, instead, we need to do the opposite. We need to let go and we need to trust. and we need to harness the infinite power of creation of the universe. When we're in the flow of creation, which control and manipulation takes us right out of, when we are in the flow, everything we want will effortlessly come to us. In order to have real power with the capital P, we have to let go of power with a small p. I mean, basically, the nature of life is to grow, to evolve, to always go towards more and more. We can flow in that river of universal grace, but it will only happen by letting go and trusting. My first teacher, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, founder of the Transcendental Meditation movement, used to say that life is bliss. Life is bliss. Life is here to enjoy. But we have to make it bliss, because even if we use power over someone and we succeed by controlling our circumstances to get our results, we might get the result, but life will not be bliss.
Boy, that is so true. Yeah. And of course, Humanities Team was founded here almost 20 years ago with this whole notion of awakening the world to oneness. We now talk about supporting people consciously and planetary awakening and flourishing, but it's this oneness thing is, if we are all one, which is ultimate reality. This is the timeless truth, an ancient truth, and I'm sure viewers are well in touch with this because it's part of what the conscious community is. But where we understand that we are all one, then just what Debra is sharing is what we naturally do, because the divine is actually within, and where we're just up in this mental emotional state. We've all lived our lives, at least partly there, where it's mental emotional and it's all taskless and it's all just to-dos and things, and it's all then very transactional with people. But once we come down through this inner journey practice we were talking about a moment ago, and where we come down and we base ourselves in this heart or soul space, and where we truly deeply understand we're all one, and so we're actually more than connection. I'll even say communion, with the one, and which is this whole service state or surrender state. It goes by many names, but where we base ourselves there and live there, and where we're in service to it, and it's just very pure. Then this is when this capital thing comes back that Debra's talking about, where everything is falling together. We are now one. We are our vision, our plan, our program, a compass if we ever get off track, support to move anything out of the way, a boomerang effect where this one is saying, oh, this is so beautiful, what work you're doing, and the prosperity in its many forms are coming back, meeting the right people, financial resources, things being moved out of the way as you're wanting to do this good work. All of these things are naturally happening. So this is really the basis for our work in Humanities Team. And I love your teachings, Debra. They're very pure, very practical, we can't do this, and this is how it often looks when we're doing this other thing. But so we just have to get back on track over here. Yes to success is so right on target. Yeah, thank you for your many contributions to the world here.
Well, can I tell you one more way that we divide ourselves and we are not
Absolutely.
Humanities Team? Because I just got that we're a team, right? We're not like a bunch of individuals, because team, it's some kind of acronym. Together, everyone achieves miracles. Right? Team, Humanities Team, the miracle making team. Right. So the other day, I've never shared this with you, but the other day I was sitting with two of my friends, both of whom are transformational leaders. And I have to admit that we were unconsciously sitting around and ragging about the people in our lives who were a pain. Okay. And one of them was, his ex-wife, and hers, her ex-husband, and me. I'm not even going to go into it. And then all of a sudden we stopped and we went, oh my God. And we remembered that it is impossible for anything to come into your life for which you are not a vibrational match. Yeah. And all you have to do is pay attention to your own vibration and switch that up. If you don't want those people come, I mean, you make yourself into a victim and them into a villain. But you know what? If you're vibrating F sharp, a B flat can't come in. But if you're ragging on people and you're vibrating and they're so bad and they're so bad, then you draw more bad into your life. And you can save yourself the enormous and impossible task of controlling the behavior of others, of trying to, again, have power over others. The more you dwell on their bad behavior and speak ill of them behind their back, the more it grows in them. It's like pouring gas onto a fire. But the less attention you give to it, the more willing you are to allow others to just live as they choose instead of thinking that you know what's best for them, the better chance you'll have that that behavior, if it's truly not serving, will disappear. And when you can actually love the biggies, like the ex-husband who talks badly about you, when you can actually love that person or talks bad about you in front of your children, that's when you really have power. And it doesn't mean that you love their behavior, but you love their God essence. And that's what being a fully conscious humanity is about. That's why we don't speak ill of others, because if you do, you're speaking ill of God. And that's the God of your understanding, since we are all made, all, not some, but all made in the image and likeness of God. So what I teach my students to do is to, when you're catch yourself like, and this person, blah, 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 stop and say 3 good things about them. Even if it's somebody on the TV that you could hardly even look at, say 3 good things, and it opens your heart so that more grace and more goodness and more oneness can come into your life, instead of being on that vibrational level of, ooh, that person, is that what you want to draw into your life? I think probably not.
Yeah, boy, thank you. I love the practical steps you keep bringing in here, Deborah, where even in this case, revealing of, oh, and I veer over into these conversations too, but then boom, bam, right back on course. So thank you for bringing these things in, because I think people relate to this, where these kinds of things happen and you're realizing, oh my goodness, I was a vibrational match to that. And these practical steps, practical applications are so important. So now you brought in, of course, another foundational thing here in our work, humanities team, Sri Sri's work, which is that we all are emanations. Michael Beckwith likes to say, we're emanations of the divine, of the one, of life. Or you could also say, in sacred texts, we're offspring of the one. They're actually both true. And the beautiful thing is this, sometimes people say, as we talk about conscious living, oh, well, it's too good to be true. But the thing is it is really too good, but it's not too good to be true. The thing is it's like if you've done, if you've ever been into scuba diving, there's something called drift diving down off of the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, which is over on the Atlantic side. Cozumel, is this little island, and you can take these little scuba diving boats out, and then you drift dive. So where the ocean is kind of moving at a current of roughly 15 miles an hour or so. So you've got your scuba gear on. All you do is put your hands out, and then the current is just bringing you along over these coral reefs and beautiful fish and things, and you're just like in heaven. And you're not doing anything. You're just in flow. You're just drift diving, and this is really what conscious living is like, as an emanation, where we really get not just as a Sunday school teaching or something, but where we really get that we are in fact an emanation of the divine. We're made in the likeness and image of the one, which limitlessness, eternal, all of what that means. Where we get that, and where we align our life with that, and we do this whole conscious thing of surrender or service, and we're not resisting anymore, which we can. When I was younger, Steve, tap on the shoulder, Steve is like, no, go away. I'm working on this right now. I don't want, So we've all experienced that earlier in our life, but once we get it, and we say, okay, I'm in. You don't need to tap anymore. I'm in. I'm 100% in. I'm 1,000% in. And then we go into that drift diving. Our life can actually be in that really cool state always. And vertically, horizontally, all these things that's so incredibly beautiful. So, and this is actually a good segue. We're going to go here in just a moment. Now we're going to watch a video clip over of Debra's masterclass. So, and it's called New Kind of Power with Christy Whitman. But before we go there, let me share. So where I stay with this whole inflow, this drift diving thing of living consciously, that you may know, Humanities Team has announced something called PACE. It stands for Planetary Awakening Conscious Evolution. And we're saying in 20 years from now, so in 2041, that we're going to pick up the pace. We're going to set a pace. We'll even identify pace setters, and maybe you're one, where we're going to drive to a fully conscious humanity, a fully conscious humanity, humankind, a fully conscious Earth, fully conscious humanity with nature, where we're living side by side each other in nature in the most beautiful, organic and natural and loving and truthful way. So now we were founded with this vision. It actually isn't a new vision, but we're roughly at the halfway point. We're almost 20 years old. We're saying 20 years from now. So in this generation, we're going to fully manifest this fully conscious humanity and fully conscious Earth, where what Debra and I are talking about here, where we know ourselves to be an emanation of the divine, offspring of the divine, made in the likeness and image of the divine, and we're living that way. This is what we're setting the pace toward. And again, maybe you're one of the pace setters that's watching this program now, where you're saying, I'm in. I'm not only in, I'm gonna just race out ahead, and with friends and coworkers and family, I'm gonna bring them all in. I'm gonna be a pace setter. And wow, I just say namaste to all of you that maybe are getting that nudge, that calling, because we need all of you. This is something where it's not Humanities Team or Debra and me or even Sri. It's all of us. It's a level playing field. It's all of us, where we all come down on the field, so to speak, and say, yeah, I know this is how what ultimate reality is. I'm going to end the resistance. I'm going to stop swatting it away. I'm going to join with spirit, with oneness, with each other, with humankind. I'm going to do this, and that's how we're going to achieve this whole fully conscious humanity and fully conscious Earth in 20 years. Now, as it happens, there's also a tool set that we've created. We're a nonprofit. We're a global nonprofit based in the United States, Humanities Team, and we've created something called Humanity Stream Plus that is putting all of our really cool, right now, about 10 master classes. There are 9 other transformational education programs. There are over 550 hours of conscious programming that are being placed in Humanity Stream Plus. They're free completion certificates and free upgrades during the Global Oneness Summit that are about $100, and all of the other free. I'm not going to try and cover everything. You can see here on the screen, if you go to Humanity Stream, you can see actually the web address, or also humanitystream.tv, I think will mostly get you there. There's a free trial. It's a 7-day free trial, and then there's a 7-day guarantee. It's also incredibly intuitive and graphical. This is the industry, a groundbreaking thing in the transformational industry. Up until now, there's a hub that almost everybody uses. It's quite technical to get around. This thing, as you can see it on the screen, this is the actual Humanity Stream Plus solution set here that we're looking at. You just click on it, it takes you right into the classes. My 87-year-old mother who says, I won't have a computer ever again, can't get lost. You can't get lost in this. It's that easy. And again, you even get completion certificates when you finish. So just invite you to check it out. Again, 7-day free trial. Now, Debra's masterclass with Christy Whitman is called New Kind of Power. We're going to go to a video clip here in a second. It's one of the really hot masterclasses that's on this platform. And I want to invite you to do a free trial. You can check it out. Her masterclass is also available as a standalone offering. So if you sign up for this free program that we were just talking about a minute ago, you'll go through, you'll get a couple of communications, and they'll also direct you to her standalone masterclass. So either one will take you into Debra and Christy's incredible masterclass called New Kind of Power. So let's go take a look at a video clip from New Kind of Power. This is an amazing, extraordinary masterclass, and then Debra and I are going to come back and talk about it.
Power. Personally, I welcome obstacles. I don't like them, but I welcome them and I give thanks for them. There's an important distinction here. Obstacles they can suck sometimes, but I know that overcoming them is what I'm here for. It's what makes me stronger. You've heard the expression that life is a journey, not a destination. To me, that means we're here to learn everything we can, grow as much as we can on our journey through life, because there are no guarantees that we will reach the end of our journeys, that we'll obtain our goals, or that we'll even wake up tomorrow morning. And here's the deal. Sometimes I hesitate to say this, but that I welcome or give thanks for obstacles because people don't believe me. And it's not that I go around looking for obstacles, but they show up in everyone's life. Life can be tough. There's no denying or diminishing that when people say to me, if you think obstacles are so great, you should have my life. Well, you know what? My reply is take it or leave it. It's always the same. I would be living your life if I were having your thoughts. And I don't mean to be disrespectful or unsympathetic, but whatever reality you're experiencing right now, financially, with your health and your career and your relationships, it's all your creation. We all have givens in life. We're born into a certain part of the world, certain socioeconomic background, race, nice paying job, and some are kind of ramshackled and torn down. Needs everywhere. And so glorious. There's just flowers are the same color as the way he got to the road, and as he looked beyond the house, he saw rows. It was just sublime. It was the house. The farmer comes out, says to the farmer, beautiful farm, my good man. And then, you're not had it all to himself. There's just no way around it. If you plant a cactus, you're not going to get a bird of paradise. Look around. Every single thing in your life and then nurtured. And the way you nurture the seed is with the power of your attention.
Wow, 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 Debra. That is so, that point is made so powerfully. It's irrefutable logic.
You plant a cat, you ain't getting a bird of paradise. Life circumstances, but it's just the result of the karmic seeds that we've planted. And if we want a glorious life in the future, we have to start paying attention to. And, from Humanity's team alone, knowledge about developing your life and higher states of consciousness and doing what you need to do to live a glorious life. It works if you work it, right? And the other thing you said, which I just loved about I actually use a very similar analogy, but I'm going to take that analogy one step further, okay? And that is doing these things by yourself. We know what we do to screw up our lives. We speak ill of others. To do is have gratitude for, and it's not a platitude, it works. You have gratitude for good, obviously, but you have to say thank you. If someone gives you a gift, you say thank you if you want more from the creator, but you also say thank you, because rejection is always God's protection. So if you give thanks for what looks like bad, much more quickly. So Marcy, I had my best friend in grammar school is Marcy, my best friend in high school is Marcy, and then my business partner, of course, as an adult was Marcy. Maybe 4 feet high. My mother would have us put our backs, be inside the pool and put our backs behind. Everybody start marching to your right. And the water was up to our chest. And we were